What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the What's Poppin podcast. Yo, we're back with the sports series, guys. I don't know, the sports series just gets me hyped, bro.
It gets me going. It was something we're passionate about, and today we got some great company, legendary company, for all my people that love the CFL and football in general. We got a legend, Mark. Who do we got?
And today we got a Grey Cup champion in 81. We got the number one highlight for the CFL Grey Cups of all time with the shoestring catch coming in at number one. They call him Downtown Eddie Brown, a.k.a. Coach Get You Right, guys. We're here with Eddie Brown, man. Eddie, what's going on, homie?
What's going on? We appreciate you taking the time to come on the podcast. Yes. And this is crazy. Like we said, this is going to be part of our sports series, and it's something we're really passionate about. So
let's take it back, bro. How'd you get into football? Let's start there.
How I got into football? I got into football because I was a bad kid.
Okay.
Bad kid, and to be honest with you, I wasn't allowed to play sports, right? Wasn't allowed to do anything. I was actually a basketball player. I lived with my grandmother, and she forbid me to play any sports.
This is back in LA, right?
Yeah, back in
Sacramento. I don't know why. Actually, the hat, man. You throw.
You got to rep that, right? They got to be the California kids, right? But she forbid me to play sports. So how I got caught, how she found out I was playing sports is that my sister told on me.
Oh, it's always a sister. We got a sister too. So.
Yeah, no, man. She told on me, and she said I told him I was playing football, and I didn't know that, but my grandfather had been coming to all my games. He already knew I was playing. And so my grandmother, right before she was about to whoop my ass at the dinner table, my grandfather said, but first you should see him play. And then it was it from there, right? I was a quarterback then, right? So, yeah.
Yeah, so you started as a quarterback and then transitioned into a receiver, right?
I transitioned to receiver my last year at university.
Nice. Yeah. And you went to Iowa State.
Iowa State, yeah.
Cool.
Iowa State University.
So did you always, how'd you come to Canada?
I came to Canada. I got up to here was Jimmy Burrow, actually. Joey Burrow's dad.
No way.
Yeah, no, he was one of my college coaches.
Okay.
And I was going to all these different camps, and then he played up here in Montreal with Wally Buono. And so I guess something happened, and I got put on some kind of list, a negotiation list by Roy Shivers, because initially I was supposed to go to Edmonton, but they put me on some list. Jimmy Burrow got me up here with Wally Buono, brought me up here, and I came up here and was with Wally.
Damn.
Calgary. It was crazy in Calgary too.
So I read a funny story that I'll bring up. So obviously Cali boy, beautiful weather.
Yes.
Hot. You get the call, you're going to Canada.
Yep.
I heard a story that you pulled up to Canada in June in a parka.
Yes, parka.
Not expecting
fresh Tim.
Yeah.
Fitty cap. I got fur around my collar.
In
right?
June.
But in my defense, to be honest with you, our books back then in school, every time we saw something about Canada, it was always a Mountie on a horse and an igloo.
And a polar bear. So.
Yeah, polar bear. So not only that, when they were sending me film of Calgary games, it was always in the snow. So I'm thinking, okay, it's always cold, it's always snow. That was my ignorance, right? So I mean, I want to stay fresh. So I get fresh, get on the plane, wondering why people were looking at me like I was crazy. Get off at the airport, walking through the airport, go outside for the car. Man, it's hotter than it was today.
Wow.
Man, I'm burning up. But I was fresh though. I had a fresh jacket. Yeah, so I learned pretty quick that there's not igloos up here. Mounties, but I don't see them quite often.
Yeah, I don't blame you. Someone coming from California,
yeah,
you've never been to Canada, you just assume the worst, right?
The worst.
Snow, freezing.
Yeah. But you started tearing up the CFL, bro. Let's talk about that a little bit. So you were in Calgary. When did you go to Edmonton? Because that's ultimately the team you won with, right?
I was in Calgary in 1990. I was on a 1-year contract. Got let loose by Calgary. Then they picked me up here in Ottawa. So I came here to Ottawa, which was probably one of the worst.
You loved it.
No. The only reason why I stayed here is because I met somebody, but that, that's a different story. But
okay.
Ottawa was probably both times I played in Ottawa was probably one of the worst, one of the worst football seasons I've ever had.
Damn.
Right.
It's not a good experience?
Terrible. Coaching was terrible. Players didn't get along. It was terrible.
That's tough to win that way.
Yeah, it's tough to win games.
Well, so what was your favorite team? You were on 8 CFL teams, right?
The favorite team I played on was Edmonton. Great coach.
Team you won with?
Ronnie Lancaster was an excellent coach. Probably the, other than the coach I had when I was in the World League, was probably the best coach I've ever had. You know, Ronnie didn't, and everybody knows him as a little general, right?
Mm-hmm.
He did everything in the CFL, but he was a great coach. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah.
So you win with Edmonton, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about that catch, because we've seen it on SportsCenter. Whether you know it or not, you've definitely seen it at some point if you grew up watching SportsCenter. That was the catch the second time around you guys made it to the Grey Cup, right? So
We made it in 93, and then we go back in 96.
back in 96.
KO, talk
So
about
walk us
that
through
catch.
this.
Come on, man. Really?
You're lined up on the line from that
I
point.
lined up on the line. What's his name? McManus.
It was a fade, right? Fade route.
I caught it, but there's a story behind all that, man. So I should be telling this, because what's going to happen is going to destroy the limelight.
It's been
No,
some time.
What happened is we didn't have a receiver coach, so during the periods I went over with the offensive line and was playing hack to sack.
Okay.
So during the game, Danny McManus threw me a deep route. I caught the ball. Adrian Smith smacked it out of my hand, so I go to kick it, and it comes right back up. You know, I didn't know I had it. Grabbed it, took off. Rest is history. But now it's out now, so now it's going to go from number 1 to number 101, right?
No, you
It's,
still made the catch.
Yeah, I made the catch, scored a touchdown. We ended up losing that game to a bad call.
The fumble, right?
Doug Flutie, yeah. He fumbled it. Doug Flutie fumbled it. They said he didn't fumble it, but he fumbled it. But they gave it to him, so,
Yeah.
you know, it's still another ring.
I'm glad you grabbed your drink.
Yo.
Guys,
This is
the What's Poppin' podcast, where we have a great conversation over a drink or two or three. Today we asked downtown Eddie Brown
what's poppin'.
what's poppin', and he went with the rum. He went with the rum,
Yes.
and we went with El Dorado. Have you ever had El Dorado before?
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah, the rum.
Very good.
Yes, that's good rum. Very good rum.
All right, guys.
All
Drinks
right.
are made.
Yo, cheers, man. Thanks for coming out.
Not a problem. Thank you, brother.
El Dorado.
Yes.
Okay, so speaking of drinking and celebration, like we mentioned, you know, you want a chip.
Yeah.
But, you know, one thing with sports is like not many people know what it actually takes to win a chip, like the mentality it takes,
Discipline.
discipline, the locker room. Like it takes a lot to go right for you to actually win a chip. So can we dive into that a little bit and talk about like that whole run you guys went on when you won it? And honestly, even the run that you didn't win it, right? I'm sure you probably had just as good of a team.
Yeah, and well, the teams that I had the opportunity to play for during the Edmonton days, it was we had a lot of camaraderie in the locker room. Everybody pretty much got along. A lot of good guys. It was a great mix of veterans, young players, and everybody. You know, the main thing that I always tell people how to win a championship is everybody has to do their job, right? You're there. I mean, you know, you're there getting paid. You have no time to mess around and do your job. I mean, you know, it's like a conveyor belt. Like if one person doesn't do their job, it hinders another person's job, right?
Of course.
So we had a lot of camaraderie in the locker room. Guys got along. A lot of us lived together. We partied together. We hung together. We ate together. We did a lot of things together, even though some of us didn't live together. So it was, we got along. The coaching staff was good. They knew how to manage the talent. The problem with championships and winning championships, you have coaches that don't know how to manage the talent they have, right? And you see that every day in sports. You got all these high-profile guys that are very, very good, but the coaches can't coach them. And I think at some point, knowing now that I do coaching, at some point coaches got to realize that there's some players that are above your coaching level. So now you have to update your knowledge. Like you got to go back to class. You got to study so you can deal with those high-profile athletes and and it's even in youth football as well, right? So that's what happened. We had a great coach in Ronnie Lancaster who had just done phenomenal things in his CFL career. He brought a coaching staff together with a bunch of coaches that knew what they were doing. They knew how to manage us. So, I mean, let's face it. Like, you got teams like that, you got a bunch of egos, right?
100%.
So you have to have a coach that knows how to manage those egos. And that's why teams lose, is because those coaches don't know how to manage those egos.
Yeah, like how many stacked teams do you see?
Yeah, they don't know how to manage those egos.
Yeah.
Right. If you get a coach that knows how to, and then the best coaches are the ones that's been there before, that's been there and done it. Like I have a motto I tell my son all the time, and I tell other kids, like, you know, why are you listening to someone who's never been where you're trying to go? I mean, you can't do that. Like, you can't come off the sideline or come off the hoop court and listen to a guy who's never hit a three in his life or never caught a touchdown in his life. It's hard. But, you know, you got to give credit to those coaches because they're doing it, right? But it's real hard to listen to someone who's never done what you're trying to do or never been where you're trying to go.
Especially when you're like a talented
Talented, and especially when you're talented. And that's the problem in today's age, in today's society. You have all these athletes, these high-profile athletes, these young kids that are really, really good, and these coaches that don't know how to manage them and don't know how to coach them, really.
So speaking of coaching, your career came to an end. Actually, before we talk about your coaching, how did your career end?
Yeah, that's so funny.
Walked off.
So you pulled the AB, or did AB pull the EB?
Oh, that's what it is. But don't.
That's a clippable moment right there. I'm gonna clip.
Get some slack from that. But yeah, man, I had a guy on the sideline. It was we were playing against BC and we needed to win that game
In Ottawa, right?
in Ottawa. We needed to win that game. It was a shit show in Ottawa, by the way, that year, right? It was a shit show. So we needed to win that game to get into the playoffs. Come out at halftime, 3 minutes into the third quarter, and I'm not gonna name the player's name, but this particular player paid him a lot of money to be a receiver on that team.
Narrows it down, bro.
This kid probably had 381 yards and about 80 catches.
Wow.
And then he comes to me on the sideline at halftime, and he just come off and just 3 and out again. Yo, EB, where we going after the game? Like I had it after that. I flipped out on all the players, flipped out on the sideline, and looked up in the stands.
Deuces, somebody.
Looked at my wife. I'm gone.
See you later.
Man,
I'm gone. So, I mean, I never actually retired from the CFL.
Yeah, because we were talking about the Hall of Fame, and technically you have to.
You have to retire. You have to
retire.
officially retire to be in the Hall of Fame.
Nah,
But I never.
10 day. Get the man on a 10-day.
No,
but
I don't have a desire to get hit anymore, at all.
But if you know, you know,
Yeah,
you're a Hall of Fame.
yeah. Well, you know, I look at it like this. I mean, I have people saying that to me too, but I never got started and I never got into it for all the accolades. I never got into it for that. I got into it because football was a way for me to get out where I get out of where I didn't want to be anymore, right? Because when I was growing up, I didn't. You know how you grow up, you have people that you want to be like.
Mhm.
You know, I want to be like him, or I look up to him. I didn't have that. I had people I didn't want to be like, right? So it helped me get out. That was my outlet. Football was a way for me to get out of a bad situation. So I didn't look at it as I'm going here to get all these trophies and win championships and all that stuff. Like, nobody knows. I mean, there's certain people that know. The wives know. But in 1993, when we won the Grey Cup in Calgary, all the players were hooting and hollering and running around on the stage, getting the trophy and doing all that. But me, nobody knows this except my wife and the other wives. I was over at the stands helping people out of the stands, like helping the fans out of the stands come over the wall to go up there and celebrate with us.
Mm-hmm.
Because all that stuff didn't mean anything to me. I knew what I brought to the game. I mean, if I wouldn't have fumbled in that game, Damon Allen wasn't going anywhere with that damn truck. That was my truck. Right? I'd have been MVP of the game. You know, so I was cheesed about that. So, well, fuck that. I'm not going to do that. I'm going over here and help his fans out of the stands.
For sure.
Right? So that's what I was in it for. I wanted everybody else to enjoy it. I played 12 and a half years. I played 6 years because I loved playing. But the rest I played because someone enjoyed watching me play. Because I just lost the love of it, right?
I feel like that happens with anything that you do on a professional level, right?
Yeah, you have to keep that fire in you. Because if you don't, you'll lose it real quick.
Dang.
Right? And you lose respect for it. You lose focus. You lose the desire for the game. And then when you do that, it starts to affect your other teammates. And later on in my career, that's what happened. You know, my behavior and the way I acted it started affecting my teammates, right? So I had to check myself, right? So, and then, my career ended, didn't end the way I wanted it to end. But I mean, you know what? I have no regrets.
Still left your mark, though.
Yeah, I left my mark. I didn't leave a scar. I left a mark, right? And I set out, I accomplished everything that I set out to do, right? And so I have no regrets. So now I'm trying to give that back to younger kids, to younger football players, younger athletes. And, it's hard when the hardest thing about coaching is when you're coaching someone just like you.
Why is that?
Yes, because it's the reason why I'm bald. Because you run into these kids that are just like you. We're just like you, hard-headed, don't listen, have all this talent, but doing all this nonsense, right? So, how do you manage that, right?
Heavy. Was there a player that you looked up to growing up, or a player that you met that
See, I knew he was gonna go there with it, right? So
you know why though?
I knew.
Jerry,
Bang bang Niner gang, baby.
Jerry Rice, that's his team. Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice was the guy for me, right? So when I went to Sacramento in the World League, I got drafted. They dropped us off. My receiver coach, the coaches dropped us off at San Francisco's facility, and we trained with Jerry Rice. Some of us trained with Jerry Rice. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. Yeah,
Jerry Rice. What did he teach you? How did he change your game and mentality?
And why do you love him so much?
Boy, I love you so much. This guy.
You hated him to love him, though.
Jerry Rice.
To hate him, I don't know.
Jerry Rice was all about movement, right? You have receivers nowadays that I know you see social media and all these receivers doing all this crazy stuff and all these crazy drills. Jerry Rice was about, you threaten the guy in front of you. Everything's a 9 until it isn't anymore. He wasn't the fastest receiver. Everybody thought he was fast. Jerry Rice ran a 4.6 at best, but he scared you, basically because his work ethic, and that was off crazy. I remember he had this drill where he ran up a hill with this special made log that had handles on it. Right, so you run up this hill, as I'm coming back down, they're driving away. So I'm like, they left me there.
You took off, you dipped.
So they all dipped and left me there. So I had to find my way to get back, right? But I mean, what I learned from him though is that, like I tell people all the time, he's the only man, and I ain't saying this, man. You want me to say this, don't you?
You gotta say it, man.
He's the only man other than my grandfather and my uncle to make me cry. Right.
How did he make you cry though?
I was pissed off.
Was it that when they dipped?
No, it was just a accumulation of things because his work ethic was hard, right? His training method was hard, right? In order to be in that atmosphere, you had to work, right? And I wasn't used to it. I got used to it real quick. So I had to learn real quick that because let's face it, when I first started out, I was very, very hard-headed, but that broke me, right? And then I came back and I had a receiver coach at Sacramento named Bill Elliott that told me if I listened to him, that no one would ever be able to control me, no one would be able to cover me. So I learned how to use, like a lot of guys don't understand that the field is 65 yards wide, right? So I learned how to use it. And from that point on, I destroyed the World League. I broke every record that in receiver record in the World League. I came back up here, and next year, 1993, we won a Grey Cup. I was leading the league in receiving and with Alan Pitts,
tearing it up,
all that. So I was tearing it up, right? So I learned, right? But I learned the hard way, right?
So that time with Jerry shaped you to be the all-star you became, basically. It helped you at least.
It helped me. It helped me because, and he probably wouldn't even remember it because he did a lot of stuff with a lot of people, but I sure as hell remember it. I mean, I can't say I hate the dude, but what I learned from him is that there's that's why my life, and I tell my kids all the time, and people that know me, they're close to me, know that I'm either black or white, right? It's you're either right or you're wrong. And, when I first started out my career, I was wrong, you know what? And then it took me to get humiliated by someone. Sometimes you have to have a breakdown to,
a humble check.
Your humble check, and that's what it was. right? So that's what it was in a sense, and it worked. So that's why I had such a good career.
And now, so after your career, you still have the passion, the love for football. So now you're a coach. Speaking of egos and kids that think they're, you know, better than what they are, what is your experience with that in the city and in your coaching career so far?
Ottawa football, I know I'm going to piss off a lot of people by saying this, but Ottawa football is toxic. And it's toxic because you have these different channels and these different programs that are telling these kids false information just to get them to come to their programs, right? Because let's face it now, I mean, you guys watch NFL football. Right? You know that in order to make it to that, only 1% of all football players go to the NFL. Only 1% of all basketball players go to the NBA. In order to play at that level, you have to be special. So you have these kids here that are being told, like, say for instance, you got 5'9" wide receivers walking around Ottawa saying they're the best receivers of success. Chest out, can't run a route to save their life, but they can bench press, they can lift weights, they can run a shuttle run, they run a pretty good 40. Back in my day, these guys weren't running 4.6, 4.7 40s. I mean, my fastest 40 was 4.21. I ran that in Jordans.
Wow.
Right? We got guys back in my day that were moving. And I can still run a good 40 if you test me. But you got guys that can't run a 4.6 and 4.7 40. It's 5'8", 5'9", that play for local high schools or local community teams that think they're going to Division I programs in the United States. No, you're not. You're not going.
So
it's not going to happen.
You tell
so
us.
You're straight up with them?
I'm straight up with them. I don't lie to people.
And that's
I
why
don't lie to you.
And that's why whoever you train tends to be successful. You mentioned whoever you train has been.
You know that saying, like you and I were talking before, like you saying, I don't flex, but I can.
Yeah.
And there's no need for me to do it. But every last player that I train, they're signed somewhere.
For sure.
And they come and they have a good time and they learn. Because I'm not trying to train those kids in the same image of myself, right? I mean, like I have a 17-year-old son and I've been training since he was 8 years old, and he's an absolute freak. They told him he wasn't any good, and I pulled him away and I said, okay, you know what? And actually, to be honest with you, I did him the same way I ended my own career. In the middle of a game, I jump a fence and go to the game. He breaks the huddle. He's walking through a huddle. I pull him off the field. Drop your pads, drop your helmet, we're going home. We go to Burger King around the corner.
Was it a Wednesday?
Get you a Whopper?
Catch a Whopper?
I get what? It don't have to be Wednesday for me to get a Whopper.
Shit. Yeah, that's true. It's Eddie Brown.
Double Whopper with cheese? Oh, man. I'll crush it. But that's what we did, and I took him home. And ever since then, I chose to train him and teach him myself. And now I told him, I said, okay, you're laughing at him and making fun of him now, but he's going to be an absolute freak when I'm done with him.
Is that how you got into coaching, or you were already coaching at that time?
No, I got into coaching because of him, because I didn't want him to be coached by someone that didn't know what they were doing.
Yeah.
Or a yes man.
And I've never been a yes man. I've made enemies, like, just someone the other day said, well, told me that they said Eddie Brown has burned a lot of bridges. But let's make it clear. I've never burnt a bridge that I've intended on crossing again. Every bridge that I've burnt, I'm aware that I burnt that bridge. I didn't want to cross it ever again. Like, man, I don't want to deal with you anymore. Like, you don't like me, I don't like you. It's mutual. Just go on about your business. But one thing I won't do is I won't lie to kids. If you have the potential to go to Division I or prep school in the United States, I will tell you that you have the potential, but you got to do X, Y, and Z. A lot of kids think they can do the minimum. I mean, I'm sure you guys know about it in business too. People think they can do the minimum and get to the top.
100%.
You got to put the work in.
You got to put the work in. And a lot of kids don't want to put the work in. I coached a high school program in Quebec. It was a program that had failed, and when I took it over, we won 2 championships back to back. We would have won a 3rd championship, but my defense coordinator didn't show up, and all this other nonsense. I won't say his name either, but a lot of nonsense happened. But what had really happened was the kids. It was the beginning. That year was the beginning of the marijuana craze, and so they started smoking marijuana. It got to the point where I had to take my star quarterback, and nights before the game, he slept on my sofa. right? Because I wanted to make sure, and he had the potential. He was the best quarterback at the time, I thought, in this entire country.
Wow.
But then the marijuana set in, and 16, 17-year-old boys, they meet girls, and once they do that, you lost all control. All your credibility is gone, right? And so nowadays you have these kids, right, that have a little bit of success. They go to these training programs, and the trainer tells them, I'm going to take you to this 7-on-7. I'm going to take you to this camp. I'm going to take you here and there. When he's just taking them, they're taking them for their benefit. There's nobody there looking at you. Why are you going to camps where no one's recruiting you? No one's talking to you.
Just wasting your time.
You're wasting your time, but you going for the experience, man. Fuck that.
Just for the money. They're doing it for
their own benefit,
yeah.
right? And so, you see very few kids now that are going to the United States to play football from here. I can tell you right now, if you are a wide receiver and you're under 6 foot, 6'1", you are not going. That's simple. I mean, look at the receivers they're drafting now.
Yeah.
6'5", 6'4", 6'6".
Especially from Canada.
Yeah.
When we were mentioning the bigger states like California,
Yeah.
Florida, they have so many kids to choose from.
There are many elements.
Why would they choose? And that's something that sets you apart. When you're coaching, what is so special about the way you coach and train your athletes?
Basically, it's because I put them in high pressure situations. Like I make them uncomfortable. Like you have to, like in anything in life, you have to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. And so what I tell these kids, like I had a conversation with a gentleman last night about his son. And I said to him, and I stopped the conversation. They're random, talking about his highlight film. I stopped the conversation. What makes you so special? Like, they couldn't answer the question. What makes you so special? Because if, I run a 4.4. Okay, well, so does every freaking football player in California, Texas. You got, listen, I saw on the internet the other day, a 12-year-old ran a 4.4.
Wow.
Like, you got little kids running 4.4s now. That's not impressing me. So you got these guys that say, they're fast and they're doing all this stuff. Like, okay, but listen, if you take the three top states in the United States, California, Florida, and Texas, you have to be, but you're not with those coaches at Division I schools, FBS schools, you have to be special. Because when they recruit you, you have to be better than what they have. If you're not better than what they have, I mean, let's face it, you're not going. They can go right in someone's backyard and find you in where they're at right there. Why would they come to Canada to get you? Not only that, it's more expensive for them to come up here to get you, to bring you down. Your scholarship costs more. You cost more to them. So you have to be special.
Extra special.
Extra special. Now, there's guys that are right now getting offers, but they had to go to prep school in the United States to get offers to go there. And they're doing really, really well. But they had to go through a lot of shit to get there. Like, they had to take a lot of stuff. And I guarantee they won't ever say it, but I guarantee you they wish that they would have took another route and not trusted certain people from bullshitting them for 5 or 6 years just to get them to join their program.
So what would you give, like, a couple of pieces of advice for football players in Canada that are trying to make it? How can you be different?
Stop going to people who have never been where you're trying to go. Period.
There you go.
That's it. That's what I tell them all. Stop going to coaches, trainers. Stop taking advice from people that have never been where you're trying to go. That's it. They can't offer you any advice. Like, come on, they can't. They've never been where you're trying to go.
You could probably, just by looking at a kid for 5-10 minutes, know if he's got the juice.
Oh, I can now. It took me a while, but I can now.
And what are some of the things you look for?
Well, I look for, first of all, if you're a receiver, you got to be able to catch. If you can't catch, you can run the baddest routes in the world, but you can't catch, what position you going to play? You're going to move into DB.
By the way, I got the best hands in the world.
Come on out, man.
Ask my girl.
Oh, listen, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But listen, seriously, man, you got these kids, man, and these people that you want to play a certain position and you can't catch. You want to play quarterback and you can't throw over 12 yards.
So to you, do you deal with kids that are naturally talented, or like can a kid that really loves football come to you, they're shit, and can you develop them, or are you just strictly dealing with kids that got it?
I take anybody. If you want to come, if you have the confidence enough to come and train with me, I'll train you. And I guarantee you, I'll make you better than you. When you leave there, you'll be 10 times better than you were before you got there.
You might cry a little bit.
I won't make you cry, but you're gonna be pissed off. I've had parents mad. I've got emails from parents. I'm hard on those kids. I'm hard on them. I'm tough because if I see something, like I have one kid right now that just won't understand that he has got the potential to be the greatest receiver that ever came out of this country.
Does he actually?
He does.
And tell me. That's what I'm saying. What do you see in him? Like, how do you notice? Besides, like, the hands, the skill, what are the intangibles that you look for?
He's 17 years old. He's strong as an ox. He's fast. He's got hands. He's got football IQ. But the problem with him is that he's got so much other stuff around him going on that he cares about that this is just secondary for him.
Sounds like he got girl problems.
Yes, there you go. The girl problems and the marijuana problems and the won't go to school problems. But he wants to play football and he wants to be successful.
He's got to get right.
So you got to get right. There you go. See, I knew I came to the right place. But this guy is one of those guys that I'll tell him that you're not going. You're not going. Unless you change your attitude.
Do you think that'll...
This up, you're not going.
You think that's going to light a fucking spark under his ass?
Nah.
He's not one.
I feel like...
I haven't told him that yet. I haven't said that to him yet.
Look in the camera. No, just kidding.
I haven't said that to him yet. But, you know, that conversation is coming.
Yeah.
He's got the ability to be like his tangibles are I'll be honest with you. Looking at this kid, the reason why I've taken an interest in him, the reason why I hold on so tight to him, I can't give up on him, because he reminds me of myself when I was his age. A splitting image, the attitude, the talent, didn't care, and you're on top of the world, and he is me.
But you got humbled, right?
I got
Jerry Rice. You got to make him cry, bro. That's what it is. You got to make him cry.
I can't make this kid cry because he'll fight.
Because actually,
yeah, he'll throw hands.
Damn.
He'll throw hands, and I can't get caught throwing hands with a 17-year-old because I will wrestle in that.
Can we talk about like how soft this generation is, like compared to when you were out there? Can we talk about that? And then can we also talk about how soft of a level you're drinking at right now is? Like, bro, yeah, you're still on your first cup when we started shooting.
Okay, but listen, there's a reason for this. You got to understand. I got to drive back over a bridge into Quebec.
We'll call you an Uber. Don't worry, done. Mm-hmm. We'll call you Uber.
Yeah, but that steal. I mean, but don't worry about that. I get it. All
right, coach, make excuses. Really.
No, coach, make excuses. Listen to this.
You gotta go out for a session with coach.
Yeah,
he's gonna make you fucking hate yourself.
I don't drink as much as I used to.
Yo, just wash my hands. I'm telling you, I can't run that fast anymore. Yeah. But I got hands. That's this guy.
You gotta be faster.
That's all you need. You catch that rock?
I catch the rock.
There you go.
If you get your hand on it, you can catch it. That's all you need.
Now I got a couple of 12-year-olds out there that might show you up if you come out.
I believe it, 100%. They'll cook you.
It's slipping. They had 12-year-olds can catch. We got baby goats out there.
Yo, what if I make your like prime guys look bad?
Then we got to get.
Then you be like, yo, this is old guy.
Then we got to get you over the border. We got to.
Is it too late? Is it too late? I'm 29.
No, we can find somebody to fake your birth certificate.
Done deal.
We can do that.
But yeah, back to it. This generation is soft. Right?
Soft.
So, like, how do you change a player when, like you said, they're soft or they got an ego and they think they're walking around with their chest up saying, I'm the number one guy? Where does coach come in and humble them? Like, what do you do?
You can't change a player. That's their parents' job.
Okay.
Right? Their parents have to do that. And some of these dudes, top that up, bro. There you go. See, look at this man trying to get me wobbly. So that it's their parents. Their parents have to do that, right? So, you have to be careful too, because like you say some things in these kids, right? And their parents might get on you. Yes, I'm like, their parents will get on you, right? So you have to be careful.
Soft.
It's there.
Like, honestly, like, I'm not even saying that. I think, no, but if I was putting my kid, and especially if my kid was training with somebody that is proven to be successful, that was successful, I'd straight up be like, yo, anything but laying him out, do it. You know what I mean? And then if you want to lay him out, come see me.
Yeah,
maybe I'll let you do it.
Well, that's us though. But you have these kids. Some of them don't. Like, trust me, I've had kids come to me And I'm hard on them because I want to see them successful, and their parents won't bring them back. Oh, your style of coaching or the way of doing things didn't set well with my son. Why? Because I told him his throwing sucks. Like you can't hit the side of a barn with a football.
It's like if you can't take reality right now, I'm sure like once you get to the pro level, like NFL, all this shit, like bro, I'm sure they're way harder, way more savage on people.
They're savage, and you're gonna take your son away from a trainer, and you say he's gonna go Division I. What do you think a guy like Nick Saban? How hard do you think he is on his players? You think Nick Saban is nice?
Hell no.
You think Kirby Smart's nice? No.
But they produce the best players.
They produce the best players because they get the most out of them with the way they coach. And that's why they're top coaches. That's why they're the highest paid coaches in college football. They know how to get the most out of their players. But as a player, you can't be soft. This game of football is not for the weak. It's not for the weak. You can't be weak playing this game. But here, there's a lot of weak football players.
Do you ever go to games just to scout, just to see, approach players and say, "Let me train you"?
I used to go to games a lot, but to be honest with you, my son doesn't want to go anymore. He hates going and watching football games. I've developed a monster. Like he doesn't like to go watch football games because he just doesn't like it. Like we've never been to a Red Blacks game, never. Got a professional football team in this city and will never be.
It's because you got that bitter taste in your mouth.
Yeah, man. It's not just the Red Blacks. It's the quality of football.
Yeah.
Right. They used to be really, really good, but right now they fell off. Right. It's the quality of football.
I feel like the CFL in general these days, it's not as good as it used to be.
No, it's soft too.
I can't watch it. Like
it's soft.
NFL, I can't watch CFL anymore.
I was talking to Alondra Johnson. Alondra Johnson played for Calgary. You remember that name? He played for Calgary years ago. And he was an absolute terror at linebacker. He's in Ottawa coaching now for the Ottawa Sooners.
Okay.
And we had this conversation a couple nights ago at a friend of mine's restaurant. And it's soft. Football is soft. Like, there's guys now, I tell guys that are playing right now, you could not have played back in the day when I played. Because someone would have took your head off. There was guys back in the day that were trying to kill you. Like, literally trying to hurt you. But right now, it's like, and just grab your shirt and pull you down. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some guys that right now in today's game that will knock you out. But back then we had guys that, like there's one guy, for instance, that I was terrified of. They had a guy that played for Winnipeg named Dave Bovell.
Dave Bovell, if you watching.
He was about 6'4", 6'5", 240 pounds and played free safety.
Damn.
And I'm a slot back.
Yeah.
So I gotta go in.
That's some like no look like.
Yeah, I told Dave now don't throw me in there. I'm not going in there. Don't throw that. And you throw it, I'm not going to get it.
It's a pick. Fuck it, it's a pick.
I'm not going to get it. So you throw it in there, you better hope somebody going to get it. I'm not going to get it. Then I found out that he can't move being that big. So then once I started figuring that out, then
cooked him up.
You can throw it in there now, right? But at first, when you look at this guy, can you imagine what a 6'4", 240-pound guy looks in pads sitting back at free safety?
As a safety.
Yes, and he's getting what, a 40-yard start to you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not fucking with that.
My life is
that was my first
that football IQ right there.
Exactly, football IQ. So I'm looking at that. I'm being smart. I'm looking at that. I told Ryan Lancaster, why didn't you go after that ball? And I looked at him like, really? Like really?
Would you have gone for that ball?
He just looked at me and turned his head laughing. Why go in there? Why am I doing that? I'm trying to prolong my career. Yeah. I'm not trying to end it in one day.
Nice.
Speaking of that, what's the average professional football player career?
What do they say? 7 years?
I think it was like 3 or 4 or something like that.
It went down. It used to be 6.
Yeah, NFL is like 3 or 4. So,
NFL.
What do you got to say to kids that are like trying to make it pro, but are like, fuck it, I won't get my degree, I won't do this. Like, bro, if it's 3 to 4 years, the average, you either got to make a shitload of money in that 3 to 4 years, or you got to have a backup plan.
Well, somebody should have said that to what's the quarterback from Georgia just left Georgia? He got drafted from Georgia.
This year?
Yeah,
No clue.
He was in university since 2017.
Damn.
And still didn't graduate.
Damn. Oh shit.
And he just left this year. He just got drafted this year.
How high up?
No, he didn't. He got drafted. He won national championship. He got drafted in late rounds.
Oh,
okay.
He barely got drafted, but still, you're in university since 2017. You didn't graduate.
so what's your take on that?
What the fuck were you doing in school?
Nothing.
If you were in university since 2017, what the fuck were you doing?
This is going for show.
Like, and how was he eligible?
Yeah. What the heck?
Damn, bro.
How does that
I graduated in 2017.
Listen, man,
So
2000,
there's hope.
huh?
I can still make the league.
You can still. I'm telling you, you need
I
to
just got to
try.
get it right.
You need to try it because this dude was in university.
Need a few sessions with coach.
Come out there, coach. Get you.
Yo, I'm actually gonna come. You think I'm fucking around?
Come out there, man.
I'm just gonna come.
Bring the cameras. Come out there.
Hey, I'll come just to record his struggle.
You know what, guys? We've never done this before, but I'm signing this up right now. We're gonna go out. We're gonna do a field day with Coach Get You Right.
Come on out.
We're gonna show you what he's all about.
Come on out.
We're gonna show you me catching them balls. Pause on that one.
Yeah, after how many edits of the drop?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to get in with his drops too, because that's how you learn, right?
Yeah.
And then you got to get in with that little kids laughing at it.
The only reason
and
I drop a ball is because the quarterback is shit.
No, I got.
You can touch it, you can catch it.
Fireballs to you. It's quarterback.
I'll catch it.
There's one quarterback out there that you won't be able. Like my son, you probably have a problem with.
Why? Because it's whistling on the way there.
Yeah, he has a cannon.
Put some pace on that.
Yeah, he has literally. Sometimes he has literally no touch. Like I have a thing with him, customer service. I say customer service. He looks at me. I said, not everybody wants hot sauce on their food. Because he had, and I got into it with him this morning too. Like, you got to learn. Like he says, well, they got to get used to me. No, man, you got 5 different receivers, and they all have different speeds and catches.
You don't throw the same way to every receiver.
Nah, and he gets mad, he'll knock you out. Like sometimes he does it on purpose.
Is he watching the podcast right now? Probably.
No, he's at work.
No, I mean like when this is airing.
I'm sure.
He'll watch.
I'm sure you'll put it up on the team.
Like he get mad at me because I'm talking shit on him. But he brought him. I was going to bring him down because of the haircut too. Like
Should have.
Yeah, but
Shout out Chris.
He's different. But shout out Chris. Chris gets him right.
Yeah.
Because he was going to one barbershop and they was pushing his hairline way back. He had moon hair.
Can't be doing that.
Moon hair.
Yeah. But there's some guys out there. I have some young guys out there that can throw the football. Some younger kids that can throw the football.
How do you deal with people that or with parents that feel like you're favoring your son because he's your son? Let's get into that real quick. Then we'll hop into some rapid questions.
Yeah.
That question right there, I have one answer for it.
Fuck you.
I don't give a fuck. And I'll say that because I look at it like this. If I'm a fair coach, and if I have a quarterback that beats him out, then you're going to play, right? But there's nobody that has been able to beat him out right now. Like he's different, and I know he's different because I trained him. I taught him a lot of things, and I'm very, very hard on him. I'm hard on him to the point where I do believe sometimes it's unfair, but I'm trying to prepare him because I went through it. I have a younger quarterback that the only problem with him right now is he don't speak English. Like, so how are you going to go to Division I football? Yeah, but I call him the sniper. Because he's 12, 13 years old, and he can fucking flat out throw the football.
What's his origin?
He's French.
He's a French
from Quebec.
He's a French from Quebec, but he can throw the football. He doesn't speak very good English, and that's going to hurt him.
Shit.
He's a little on the small side right now, but I mean, he hasn't a growth spurt.
We'll throw some lessons.
But
Matt right here he's got a business here, English tutoring.
Yeah.
Yeah, I probably push him your way because I have never seen a playbook in French.
Yeah, that's different.
It's different.
Because
This guy's just gonna get on.
Where do you go where football's in French other than Quebec in the whole world?
Well, I train a girl right now. I train a young woman that plays for the French national team, French flag. I think it's flag football in Quebec, in Paris.
So you're training guys and girls.
Yeah, I train anybody.
And so anybody that approaches you says, "Coach, I want to get better." You'll take them. You'll bring.
I take them all. I always tell people I want the people that nobody else wants. So I want to beat your ass with people that nobody else.
So is it like after one session you know right away whether he's got it or not?
After 15 minutes, I know right away.
So do you coach an actual team as well, or is it just like
I coach right now. Last year I coached a team called the Orleans Raftsmen out in Orleans.
Yeah.
It was an absolute disaster. An absolute disaster.
Shit, kid.
Absolute disaster.
No talent.
You got to start somewhere.
I will never coach kids from Cornwall ever again.
Yo, that's a clip right
Never again. I had one. The only person that I can say that.
Wait, aren't you from Cornwall? Oh, okay, good.
I had
good.
I don't know if my free safety was for Cornwall. I don't think he's a Cornwall, but I have a free safety that plays for Ottawa U right now. He was damn good. But then I had this little running back. I'm not gonna say his name. I thought was absolutely good, but he was absolute disaster. A disaster.
So
He was really good.
sometimes it's not for you, you know?
He was a disaster. And I'm like, I will never do that again. I mean, I think Cornwall I've never been to Cornwall in my life.
To dump.
Huh?
To dump.
Yeah, but he was a disaster.
Fuck.
So, and all the Cornwall kids were quitting. We had one guy that was, he was diving, he was a center and he was falling down and doing shit on purpose. It was last season was a disaster.
Play some soccer, my boy.
No, he need to stop playing football altogether. Don't play no sport. No sports. You need to go and plant shrubs. Don't play no sports. Quit. Stop playing football. If I see you with a football, I'm gonna punch you. Don't play football ever again. Stop. But this little kid, running back, if he would just realize that he is an absolute fuck up and stop, he would be pretty damn good. He would go somewhere because there's people that are interested in him, but he's just a disaster. Like he's just a fucking tornado all by himself. He's only like 4'7".
This kid just got shot on. Like,
Why?
probably deserve it though.
Why is it always the little people that act up like that?
Little people got the biggest egos.
Yeah, no.
You hate to see it.
I got 2 words for you: ass whooper.
Yep. I believe that.
You know, I don't know. So it was a disaster last year. I'm supposed to go back this year, but we're having a problem with recruiting right now. I don't think we're able to build a good team, so we got to see what's happening. And not only that, it's my son's last year before he goes down south.
Oh shit.
So
Has he committed anywhere?
he hasn't committed anywhere.
Does he have an agent yet?
He's got no, he can't get an agent
Why?
because he's in university. He can't get an agent. And he won't be able to play university if he gets an agent. So he,
Sure, you'll be his agent.
no, I don't want to mess with
Yo, you need an agent, let me know.
him. I want him to go do his thing so he can get his nice little contracts so he can come back and I can live with him.
How does that work? You probably had an agent too.
I had an agent.
Okay, yo, I want to talk about that for a sec, because
Before the rapid questions?
before the rapid questions. Actually, I got another question before the rapid question. But yo, how do the agents work? How do you choose your agent? Do they approach you? Or
They approach you.
they're fucking.
And they come out of woodwork. So you got to be able to know who they are and trust them, right? So my first agent was pretty damn good, but it was a bad situation for me because at that time it was chaotic,
Yeah.
right? It was very chaotic. He had never dealt with the CFL before, so he didn't know their procedures. He wasn't registered, and so they wouldn't deal with him, so it was chaotic. The second agent I had he only lasted about 2 months. And then from that point on, I was my own agent the rest of my career.
A lot of these
You pulled the your boy there.
Who?
Your QB, bro. Who?
Oh,
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, I was gonna say a lot.
Lamar had his mama.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of these.
That's like with
not a
Jordan.
lot, but
Jordan
you're
with
seeing
that Nike. Did you watch the Nike? Thing on Netflix? The series?
And
Yeah.
There?
Jordan had no choice. His mama took over.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I'm gonna get you this money. Okay, listen, let me handle it. But I was gonna say not a lot, but more athletes are actually gathering like their mom or their dad to be their agent.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because you got to pay an agent. Just think of it. If you're paying them sometimes
10%.
to 15%.
Yeah.
50.
Sometimes. It depends who the agent is, and what company they're from.
We gotta know how we get into the agent business, bro.
Yeah,
Cause I'm an agent. I'm a real estate agent right now. But
Get into
sports agent.
represent CFL players. I think it's like capped somewhere around 5 to 7% up here in Canada. But that's still
So stalling.
What does the average CFL player make a year today?
It's hard to say because back in the day, they used to put our salaries in the newspaper. So it's hard to say. So I think the average Canadian probably makes 70, 75.
Okay.
U.S. players make around 80, starting at 80, something like that. I mean, people don't think CFL players make money, but they do. I mean,
Unless you're like completely just.
there's been guys like Flutie and Damon Allen, guys that made millions.
How much did Burris make? It was in Ottawa, wasn't it? Like a mil in Ottawa. Ottawa.
Yeah, and he won a Greek Cup, so
He made a lot of money.
yeah.
I don't know that for a fact, but I'm pretty sure with what he did. Yeah, from what he did, I'm pretty sure he made a good living.
So besides football, what does Eddie Brown do these days? What are some of your hobbies? What are some of the things you like doing?
In Ottawa.
In Ottawa,
First of all, do you like leave at all, or are you based here?
We go. I live here now.
Do you love Ottawa besides the football
So I
team?
love Ottawa. I think Ottawa is absolutely terrible. But I mean, it has its good moments, right? I've been here a long
Heard that
time,
a
right? And you know how it is when you've been somewhere too long.
You're also coming from Cali, like,
Yeah, but California is not what it used to be, though. California, ever Biden became president.
Who?
Biden.
Who?
Yeah, him. That one.
Okay.
taxes.
The funny part about all that is, if you think about back and all that shit that Trump was saying, it became true.
It is true. Honestly, I like Donald Trump.
I wasn't a Trump fan. I can't go on record as saying I am a Trump guy because I'll probably get shot going home.
Better than Biden, though.
Man, that man's senile.
This guy's
senile.
delusional.
He's senile. He's actually senile.
It's actually fucked.
He should be put in a hole.
It's actually fucked.
Yeah.
That's the guy running one of the biggest fucking countries in the world,
But the
most
crazy-
powerful
But
countries
that's
in
the
the world.
United States.
Well, that's the thing. Like, he's not actually running he's not running it. He's,
Well, Bush
he's the
did.
face.
Well, it's the same as Bush. Bush didn't run the United States. His
Yeah.
daddy did.
Exactly.
His father ran it. Him and the CIA ran it. We better stop talking about that because we might have somebody rush up in here. But
That's true.
It's
Just juke him. Come on, you're the quarterback. You don't get rushed. You can juke him more.
No, we've been drinking rum too.
That's right.
They
You
got
juke him.
They got us. You might as well just offer them a drink when they bust.
Before you do anything, have a drink.
Yeah, before you take us, have a drink. But the cameraman gonna get it first because he's standing at the door. He taking one first.
Don't get it twisted.
We got another guy behind the curtains, though.
Yeah, behind the curtain. So as long as I'm faster than everybody in the room, I'm not worried. 'Cause,
What are you pushing right now? Like 40?
me?
Yeah.
Man, I am.
How tall are you, by the way?
I'm 40 with 15 years of experience. 16 years of experience.
You're not 66 years old, bro.
You can't even count. 40 plus 16 years of experience.
You're not 56 years
Yeah, I'm
old.
56.
So, that's your last.
El Dorado.
That's your last one.
That's your last.
You were on me about
This
drinking.
this
top.
happens to me every episode, man. I always start off good. I get to but this is the What's Poppin'
The
podcast.
What's Poppin' podcast. I'm glad I.
Yeah, man. Eddie Brown, man. This has been fun. Let's hop into some rapid
We got
questions.
some rapid questions for you. We'll wrap it up and
Let's
we're
get
out of
it.
here.
Let's go. Go first, Matthew. I gotta pull these rapid questions up because I'm
We talked about this off camera. Favorite NFL team?
Raiders.
soft. Jimmy G's your quarterback.
You know what I think's gonna happen?
What's gonna happen?
I think Tom Brady's gonna be the starting quarterback.
Relax. I heard that. I saw that.
Tom
You're
Brady's
tripping.
already buying the team.
You're
What do you think's
tripping.
gonna happen?
Right, you're
And
tripping.
Think about this. Every team that Jimmy G has played for, Tom Brady has tried to be there.
You know
Brady
what?
wants to. Tom Brady.
You guys had a shot. Sorry, you guys had a shot and said no to Tom
Get
Brady.
Yes.
I don't say no
Tom
to Tom
and
Brady.
Rodgers.
Tom Brady does not like Jimmy G, and he wants Jimmy G to play behind him.
Let me tell you something. By the time this episode drops, we're gonna know who the starting quarterback is, and if it's not Brady,
For who? Raiders?
yeah.
Oh man, they got rid of the starting quarterback, but they shouldn't have got rid of him.
But did you hear what happened with Jimmy G? He's actually injured. He's not. He can't even
What
start.
happened with Jimmy G is he went and had surgery right after he signed. He signed a big contract and hid his surgery from everybody.
Smart on his part.
Smart.
On his part, yeah.
G. He's a G.
He lost his signing bonus though.
But so what? He got his contract. What
Got
did he
his
make?
bag.
Like $23 million.
Yeah, it's got to.
Take my signing bonus.
Yeah,
You just guaranteed.
it ain't no 250, 260 Lamar Jackson.
Who's winning the Super Bowl next?
So win a Super Bowl?
Niners.
Don't say the Raiders.
Niners. He's thinking about it. It's like it was the last.
Hey, the Ravens got a shot.
Niners.
Big shot.
Niners.
I think San Francisco.
Let's go, baby.
Yes.
Let's go, baby.
That's a cheers right there.
Let's go.
San Francisco.
Let's go. Eddie Brown said it here.
But wait a minute. Are they going to do it with the Trey Lance, or are they going to do it?
Oh, does it matter? I want Trey Lance to work out, man. The guy's such a nice guy.
It matters because what's going to happen in midseason? They're going to put Debo at quarterback.
What you think of Debo? What you think of Debo as a Ayuk? Ayuk is a monster.
Nasty.
Still waiting for
Monster.
that breakout.
I'm scared.
Ayuk.
I'm scared for Ayuk. I feel like he's gonna get traded, bro.
He won't get traded, but this is last year of his contract. He's going to leave.
Yeah,
He's gone because
he's too good, bro. Everybody wants him.
Unless something
But
happened.
I think I like
He
Ayuk
re-signed though. Actually,
more than
Did he
Debo right
resign?
now.
did he re-sign?
Yeah, he re-signed last year for two. He got 2
There
more
was that
years.
whole where he wasn't. He deleted all the San Fran posts.
But like
It was
Ayuk
all mine.
Yeah, but Debo's getting all the balls, though.
Debo.
From
and McCaffrey.
San Fran.
Yeah. McCaffrey's a real deal, though. You can't take away from him, though.
Oh, he helped me. I picked
His first game, he scored.
Who's your favorite wide receiver in the
My
league?
favorite wide receiver in the NFL?
It's a rapid question right there.
Dude, I'm an OBJ fan. But OBJ kind of weird.
Ravens flock.
I'm an OBJ fan. I'm an OBJ.
Why is he weird?
Why? Just pay attention to what that fool does. He's weird.
I feel like every good player is weird. Like AB was a great player, fucked up in the head, obviously.
AB, we can't talk about him, though.
Yeah.
Because that helped.
I don't know if I said this on camera because I've been drinking.
Or is it
Mental health.
CTE?
It's mental health. He took one hit. One
That
major hit. That
you remember that hit?
It did not cause him CTE.
Well, he's
you know what got AB? Okay, this is what happens to certain players. AB got famous too fast. Like, you got to admit, he was a 5th-round draft pick.
I miss Steelers.
He got to Pittsburgh and just blew up.
Him and Juju.
But nobody knows.
Bennett and AB was the craziest combo ever.
Yeah, but AB acts like he's hood.
Yeah.
He's not really hood. You know who's hood? Juju Smith-Schuster. He was born right in the hood.
Really though, he'd be making TikToks and shit.
But that's because he weird. He's weird. Him and what's the dude from Canada that now plays for
Clay.
that now is in Chicago.
Claypool. Yeah.
Weird. He's weird. What kind of man makes TikToks? My daughter does that to me all the time. I don't even know half the shit she be putting on TikTok.
That's it. You're weird.
Weird. I'm not weird, but she's weird for putting me on TikTok.
You're weird, bro.
But that's the culture now. That's
It's the culture, social media. That's how they get they get little followers, right?
yeah.
Man, listen.
Where does downtown Eddie Brown see himself in 5 years to 10 years? Are you still looking to coach? What are you trying to do in the next 5 to 10 years? You still trying to be
know what I'm going to do in 5 years? In 5 years? My cousin is trying to get me to move to Belize with him.
Belize.
But
You sound like Chris right now.
he's in Belize and he has to build his house on stilts. And I asked him why he has to build his house on
The
stilts.
ocean.
Snakes.
Oh,
Fuck that.
I ain't fucking with Belize. Because I be on the internet, on Facebook and Instagram, y'all always see them big ass anacondas.
and
Man,
yeah.
I am not fucking with Belize.
Fuck
If I have to build your house on stilts, that's either because one, somebody trying to rob you and you don't want to get up there, you need a ladder to get up there, or two, snakes.
The fact that you
Or some
have to do
lions.
that means
I ain't
it's pretty
fucking doing that.
common.
Listen, my 5-year plan is this. You're going to laugh at me for saying this. Like,
That
kids
mean
laugh
that-
at me every day.
You gonna get me
I'm
D1.
going to Jamaica. I'm going to have me a Jamaican food truck, jerk chicken, oxtail, all that. Right next to that, I'm having me an ice cream truck. Have me a house on the fucking water.
That's
Simple life. Simple
Bungalow, because I don't like steps. A bungalow on the water. Every day I'm be sitting on my porch, drinking rum,
El Dorado or
butt ass naked.
Because you can do that.
Because I can.
that sounds
Honestly, man.
honestly,
And I'm going to have a podcast.
I would do that too.
We gonna work on
Butt naked podcast.
Yep.
shit. You gonna blur that shit out.
Nah, you got to blur it out because the people are going to be mad. I can't get no track. When I get
You
people.
can't get on YouTube with that.
No. But, that's what I want to do. I just want to be comfortable, have fun, right?
That's right, man.
I don't want to do football like, they asked me what am I going to do after my son goes to school. What I want to do is if he does get his scholarship and go to university, I get more time to spend with my daughter, right? So that's one of my biggest accomplishments in life, right? Everyone asked me, I had someone ask me the other day, you played football all these years, what's your major accomplishment in life? I mean, I'm a single parent. I raised a young woman, right? That was my number one accomplishment, right? So that's what I want to do. I want to spend a little time with her, make sure she's good. And when they're both good, I'm just going to run off into sunset, do something stupid.
Literally. You know what's gonna happen? I'm
Not
telling you right
Belize,
now.
in Jamaica.
It's gonna be a movie, bro.
No, it's not.
I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen right now. Me and Matt gonna open up a sports agency. We're gonna be sports agents. We're gonna come to Jamaica. We're gonna roll up on your crib. We're gonna be butt naked. We're gonna be like, yo, throw on some fucking boxers.
No.
We gotta fly out. We're gonna fly you out to LA. You gotta see these kids. We gotta make it. And we're gonna have some sort of a crazy
No. I don't know.
you say no now. I'm gonna take no, but I ain't gonna accept no. Okay?
I understand.
I'm gonna take no for now.
I understand. Honestly, I still might have something to do.
I just gotta. You know what I need to do? I need to show you that this particular athlete is worth you putting some fucking boxes on.
Yes. Any athlete is worth, if any athlete comes to me and they need help, it's hard for me to turn them away.
All right. I got the next question for you.
Yeah, we do this every rapid question, guys. We ask like 2 solid rapid questions, and then we just go off for like 5-10 minutes.
What's the rapid question?
Okay, ready for this one? I need you to look in that camera right there.
That's a rapid question. This camera right here?
That camera right there. Look and talk to that kid that's maybe 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 17, 18, 19 and a half, 20 years old, trying to make the league. And, wants to know from somebody that's actually done it, not somebody that ain't done it. Somebody that's actually done it. Give them some pieces of advice on what they should be doing.
Go to school. Leave them girls alone.
They'll come later.
They'll come later.
Don't
come later. Work hard, train. Stop believing the hype, right? Stop believing what these frauds are telling you. Number one thing is stop going to people who have never been where you're trying to go. Flat out, period. That's it.
Take that in.
That's it.
That's
Stop
it.
doing it. If he's never been where you're trying to go, he shouldn't be telling you what to do or how to do it.
Amen. Coach.
Yes.
Coach, get you right.
Downtown.
Eddie Brown,
Oh
babe.
my God.
Where can we find you on social media?
Yo,
You can
any
find me-
athletes want to hit you up?
Instagram at Coach Get You Right.
Because he
I
gonna
don't really fuck
get
with
you
Facebook.
right.
Fuck
I don't
Facebook.
fuck with Facebook.
Facebook's old, bro.
It's always for old people, huh? That's why I don't go
Yeah.
there because I don't nobody call me old. But
Facebook's like the old relatives, you just catch up with them. Some of them you don't mess with.
Good for real estate, though. I post a lot of my listings.
so
Yeah, bro.
yeah, it's good for real estate.
Yeah.
So pop your tag up there. You're on Instagram.
On Instagram.
You're not on TikTok, but your daughter.
No, I'm not on TikTok. I'm not on TikTok because I read the TikTok agreement.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You took the time to.
Yeah, I read the agreement, and like an old person does.
That's
read
that
it.
retirement life.
I mean, I'm not trying to get people to look through my shit. I had that thing. I even had that little home pod thing. I unplugged that shit too.
No way. What's up with that?
Yeah, because they be trying to spy on you, man. He knows. Look at you, he knows.
Ian's like,
They be trying to spy on you, man.
been unplugged. Dude.
Whenever you say something, Siri just answers you out of the blue.
Yeah, that happened to me.
Man, get Siri out of there. Cause Siri been. Did you hear about the story where the Siri taped everything that was going on in somebody's house, and it actually emailed the CEO of the company, emailed one of his employees?
No way.
Yeah, you gotta stop messing with all that shit.
Crazy part is our phones right now are listening. How many times have you talked about something, you see an ad about it?
And it pops up. You know what else I found out about these phones? So there's this thing going on Instagram about if you get an infrared light, your phone takes pictures randomly.
Well,
Try it. Try getting an infrared light. Turn off your lights, get an infrared light, and you'll see that your camera, it takes pictures, flashes,
Damn.
take pictures of you randomly.
Fuck that.
I don't want to hear that shit.
I did it the other night.
I gotta be careful.
I hope those pictures don't surface.
Hey, it's all about the podcast.
Anyways, guys,
Yo,
got
Coach.
legend.
Yo, Eddie Brown, guys.
I don't know about legend, but yeah.
Yo,
you're
fucking legend, man. Fucking
you're
legend.
classified as a legend.
The What's Poppin' podcast, baby.
Let's go.
Yo, thanks for coming out, Coach.
Hey, man. Thank you.
Hall of
for having me.
Famer.
Thank you.
Tuning into the What's Poppin' podcast, guys. If you're not already following our shit, get on that. I'm gonna let you do your little spiel here. I know you like
Feel that I do every episode, guys. Thank you for watching. We really appreciate the love and support. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Make sure you like it, comment, share it with your friends. You know where to find us. Is the What's Poppin' podcast on IG, the What's Poppin' podcast on Twitter. Psych, it's the What's Poppin' pods on Twitter.
fucking idiot. You had we almost got through an episode without this guy saying some stupid fucking shit, but he had to fucking do it up.
The What's Poppin' podcast on TikTok, guys. The sports series. We told you we're gonna have some
Bangers.
and we did. Thank you so much for watching. We love you. Take it easy. Peace.